Well, it is August 31st, and I got a box. This box is shipped direct. Well, I ordered from B&H Photo, but they had their distributor out in Oregon somewhere ship this to me. It's supposed to be my Core i7. My wife already opened it though, and so I know it is. But it's an awfully odd box to ship something this size in. But there it is, a US purchased Core i7 processor, 6600K. Oh, and here's all the info on it. So there's the processor itself, and here's all the leading particulars. This one was made in Malaysia, so I assume it was packaged in Malaysia. Don't know where the actual die came from, but there's all the other good stuff on there. So now I can get it installed and benchmark this and against this guy here. Yeah, I bought all my parts on August 5th thinking that the worldwide release of the Core i7 6700K processor would mean I'd be able to buy this on August 5th also. Well, nope. So sometime around the middle of August I broke down, bought this, but now I can directly benchmark this against this using the applications that I like to use. So we'll see if the extra $100 for this is worth it over this. Alright, let's upgrade. We'll see how well my thermal paste did on this install. I'm kind of caught up in my cable management here, but, well, let's see. This out of the way. Looks pretty focused there. So that's how it looks under there. Looks like I got it pretty good right on the center there. I just kind of did a little line. Looks like maybe a tiny bit of excess on the outside, but looks like I had pretty good contact, I think. Yeah, maybe some of you experts out there can say otherwise, but alright, so there's how the paste on the actual water pump looks. So, looks like it was pretty good there, so I will do kind of the same method. Maybe I actually looks like I could get away with even a little bit less. Alright, now to gently clean this up. Actually, I may just go ahead and take it out and do it in the packaging. Well, looks like it's coming off here pretty good, but I don't want to cook anything up. Actually, let me do this right now while those pins are protected by the processor. I'm just using a baby wipe here, so it should be fairly free of most harsh stuff or anything like that. Alright, got the pump nice and clean. We'll take this guy out. I am wearing a wrist strap, of course. I trimmed my nails today. Ah. There we go. Actually, let me not do this over the socket. So there it is, one Core i5 processor. One Core i5 processor. Make sure it's good and focused here. 6600K. This has been overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz, and I only applied a mild overvolt of 1.3 volts to get there. It works at 4 gigahertz at stock voltage, 1.2 volts just fine. And of course, the stock frequency is 3.5 gigahertz, but it works great at 4 gigahertz, and it'll work at 4.4 if you overvolt it to about 1.3 volts. I didn't push it any further than that, but you could probably put 1.4 volts to it and maybe get another few hundred megahertz off of it. But that's what I was able to get. I ran Prime 95 for several hours at 4.4 gig at 1.3 volts, didn't have any problems. So this should work just fine in your rig, provided you have proper cooling for it. But now this is going to go into its little home here. Let me make sure. And this does still have the nice little Intel Core i5 sticker that will be included in the box here. Alright, there's the processor. There's a little sticker in the manual. There's the box information, the S-spec, all that wonderful stuff. Made in Malaysia. Yeah, made in Malaysia. So there it is. Now let's put this in. The Core i7. About to install this into my system here. It's in the factory original packaging, so it's still really valuable until I open the original packaging. Then I won't be able to sell it for 50 years for 20 bucks or something like that. There it comes. There it is. The Core i7 6700K 4 gigahertz is what the stock frequency is at. We'll see how high we can get it, but I'm not that adventurous, so I'm only going to overvolt it by 1.3 volts to see how high it'll go, but we'll see. And as far as the rest of the box, there's the wonderful little sticker that I'll put onto my case here. Alright, there's my arrow. Just like so. And according to the adventurous folk who have actually de-lidded this thing, the actual core is kind of orientated in this direction here. And so I will apply, I'm not going to do the lentil bead, but I'm actually going to do maybe a little bit of a line of thermal paste on there. And I'm using the G-Lid Solutions GC Extreme. Get down in the focal range there. Okay. Now let's very carefully apply some of this here. There we go. There we go. And that's all. It doesn't take much. I mean, you don't want to goop it up and get all over it. And I've cleaned my cooler off from the i5 that I did have in here. Alright, now let's see here. Maybe I should find the plastic. Well, there's a plastic bracket that's ideally supposed to help this thing mount maybe a little bit easier, but oh, yeah. Watch me make this mistake. Let's actually latch it down here. That might help things along. Not get too excited here. Right, yeah. Just like that. There we go. Now, he's in there. Alright, I'm going to put the case up on its end and take the back panel off just to make sure everything's all down and snug. Now here's some charts that I made from benchmarking the i5 and i7 processor. Before I go too far into the charts, let me just explain what you're looking at here. On the bottom left corner you see i5 3.5, that is the stock clock speed for the i5 processor. Above that you see i5 3.5 VOC. The VOC is for video overclock. I'm running a GTX 970 video card and I overclocked that for some of these benchmarks. Above that is the i5 4.0, which is, of course, a 4 gigahertz overclock. Above that is the same 4 gigahertz overclock of the i5 with the video overclocked. And then it kind of goes up from there. And then near the top you see the i7 4 gigahertz, which is a stock clock for the i7 processor. And the i7 overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz, which is the same overclock I was able to achieve with the i5 processor. And so you can get a good representation of their relative power here. This was from the CloudGate benchmark from the 3D Mark benchmark suite. Next we have Ice Storm. This one was weird in that while it does scale with the processors, there's some cases where it went slower with the overclock, and even with overclocking the video for some reason there wasn't really very consistent results here, so I'm not sure what was going on with that. Then for the Firestrike benchmark, very nice scaling here. This one enjoyed a very nice bump from overclocking the video. Then the Skydiver one, which has a very small but a good scaling going on with the various overclocks. This is a video prep. What this benchmark was I took a 1-minute high definition video and I put it into Windows Movie Maker. And this is how long it took for it to recode that 1-minute video into something that it can use. So here's how it scales with the i5. And again, another weird thing where overclocking a bit further actually slowed performance a little bit. But you see with the i7, the hyperthreading was able to help it to go a little faster. And this is how long it took Windows Movie Maker to actually save that video, to code it into a file and save it. And then this Adjust 5, this is where I had 5 raw images from my Nikon SLR camera that I took. and it's how long it took to apply a apply a filter to 5 different picture files in the raw format. And then this chart is how long it took to convert those 5 raw images into a JPEG format. So you can see how it scales there with the i5 without the hyperthreading, with a little bit of overclock versus i7 with hyperthreading. So there it is. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully this was informative for you. Thanks.